back on to Justin. He just mentioned like that's not what defines us. That's not what defines our season. And we just have to continue to come in each week with a mindset of how do we continue to get better. And I know it sounds cliche, and it's just a okay, yeah, but it's true. It really is true. You have to continue to find what way can I continue to improve so I can be a better me. So ultimately, we can be a better us.
Good blocking on the perimeter, and that opens it up for Tyler Scott.
Listen, it is 1 week. We're not gonna beat ourselves up over this. We're gonna start looking forward. But first, we'll take a quick look back as we welcome to the show the man of the hour, Tyler Scott himself. Tyler, listen, I got to be honest with you. I told you last week, I made a prediction that I was not going to be emotionally ready to handle it if you guys lost, and I was correct. I did not handle it emotionally very well, but I'm here. I'm happy to be speaking with you. How are you doing?
Yeah, no, it's good to be back. I'm doing all right though. I'm doing all right. I had my day to kind of look over the film, kind of look back at the game, kind of soccer, whatever you want to, however you want to, put it. But I'm doing pretty good. Mine is still good, spirit's still great, so I'm doing good.
It is week 1, but I think for a lot of fans, we get built up. It's an entire off season. There's a lot of anticipation. It's at home. I'm sure the atmosphere was exciting. What was it like before the game? Like this is your first real NFL game. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, no, it was one to remember in a lot of different ways. I mean, leading up to the week, I had I was nervous during the week, so I was just talking to some of my teammates. They're just kind of they're by my side, just kind of helping me get through the week. I had sweaty palms, those type of things. Leading up to my first game, so definitely a lot of different emotions throughout the weekend. Obviously, morning of the game, woke up, I was like, well. It's finally here. We're gonna play football today. And it's first time on the big stage, and just even getting to the stadium. I had drove myself to the stadium, which was new. Just kind of the whole deal of like before, in college, everything was pretty. Very, very structured as far as like, all right, you're here at this time, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're eating, we're doing this, about it, it's a very set schedule, but kind of that morning and even the day before, it's pretty, catered to, really your own type of schedule and what kind of gets you ready to prepare for the game. Which is something that I tried to find during the preseason, which is kind of what was my routine, what was my rhythm, things of that nature to get me ready. And so, but it just hit different. It was game 1. On my way to the game, a lot of traffic, even though I was about 8 minutes away. From the stadium, but so much traffic, just seeing all the Bears jerseys, all around while I was, driving. It just felt different, going to work, and it was just definitely something to remember. From there going in, have my own parking spot, in the stadium. Finally being able to, well, actually, my fiance, she picked my outfit. For the game, coming in, seeing the cameras, things of that nature, and finally be a part of that. Something that you watched growing up as a kid, seeing the guys walk in with their suits and their outfits, and seeing the nice, cool little pictures of what each person has on and what their kind of flavor and style is, and to be a part of that, I just couldn't help but smile when I seen all the cameras, coming into the locker room for the first time, and then just preparing for the game, like usual. Warm up was pretty usual. Felt like a preseason. As far as just trying to keep my myself level headed. Not trying to try not to make the moment too big. Went to the locker room, came back out, and it hit me when he came out. I want to say the last time, and they introduced the starters on offense, and you seen Moon come out, then you seen Justin come out, and just seeing the crowd, the reaction. Just the energy in the stadium, you could feel it, man. It was different. It was different. And honestly, what really was probably one of the highlights of my night was when they had I want to say it was a singer who did the national anthem. The crowd loved him. I wasn't sure who the guy was, but the crowd loved him. He killed it, by the way. And just listening to the crowd and their reaction. It just gave me goosebumps. Just seeing the flag, just wave in the middle of the field. Once again, one of those things that you watch growing up as a kid that you're like, man, I'm finally a part of this, and that's kind of when I had my kind of like that realization of like, man, you made it, man. Like you made it to the top level. What you worked for your whole life. From since you were a kid. When people doubted you at times, said you wouldn't be able to make it, and you finally accomplished your dream of becoming an NFL a professional NFL athlete and playing on the big stage. And but what better way to start than to go against a divisional rival and the greatest rivalry in the NFL against the Green Bay Packers. And so all these different things just went through my mind. And at the end of the day, once the coin toss was flipped and seeing that we were getting the ball first, I was like, oh, you're going to touch the ball first as well. I was like, oh, great. So I had an opportunity to get the ball in my hands first. And I want to say I think I caught the first pass as far as a receiver standpoint from Justin as well.
Yep.
So that was great too. So just so many different emotions. I loved every moment of it. Obviously, we didn't get the result that we wanted, but I enjoyed playing the game. Enjoyed the atmosphere, enjoyed the crowd. So it was definitely one to remember for sure.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, going over your story again, a kid who grew up in Ohio, went to Cincinnati, just getting from high school to college. I don't think people understand the leap it is to make it from that level to the next level and then to go to the NFL. It is an accomplishment. So I know you're proud of that. And I know that all your friends and family are proud of that too. So, and by the way, we did have a nice little crowd at Rip Beer Company in Huntington Beach, California. We had actually a really nice crowd, the biggest crowd we had even going back to last season. And because of your association with these shows, the crowd popped when usually it would be fantasy people being upset that the ball didn't go to DJ Moore, but the crowd was rooting for you. So we were very excited to see you out there.
I
Um,
appreciate that.
no, no, we got you. We got your back. So don't worry about that. I do want to talk a little bit about the game. Right off
Yeah,
the top, you guys went for it on fourth down, first drive of the season. What does that do to the side? Like, what was it like on the sideline when Coach Eberflus makes that call? Like, we're going for it. Does that kind of send a little juice through you?
for sure. No, for sure. I mean, when you make that type of call where it's like, it's early. I want to say I think we were on the other side, so of the 50. So
Yeah.
we're on the minus 50 as well. So I felt like, yeah, that just sets a tone as well, just as far as a mindset. Especially I don't think anyone on the sideline was like, what are we doing? I think that was like a we're here. We're sending a message. I think that's definitely one of those things that when a coach puts his neck out there like that and like, hey, we're going for it. That definitely sends juice to the team for sure.
Yeah, I love the idea of it because I don't want to play passive, especially against that
No,
team. Want to take it to them. And obviously things didn't work out. Now, for a lot of fans, we sit there and we talked about this before we came on the air. It's like, I did not talk to people. Like I didn't look at my phone. I stayed away from people. What is it like for you? I know that you have to turn the page quicker and start getting ready for your
yeah.
next opponent. But what is it like for you after the game when things obviously didn't go your way? What is that like for you?
Yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely a lot of different things going, through each player's head. I think, whether you had a great game or a bad game, you're looking at your performance individually, looking in the mirror, what did I do, as far as where was my hand in, the whole mix, and then as a team, kind of what were our setbacks, what kind of, caused us to get in the position that we were. Just little things where a lot of things that killed ourselves, whether it was penalties, especially early in the game. We kept getting in like third and longs, third and 12s, third and 11s, third and 15s, and when you get yourselves in positions like that, it's kind of hard to continue to come back, especially at this level. You got to really stay ahead of the change. And that's something that we wanted to do, but we had, like I said, a lot of setbacks and things of that nature. So you're just looking at just little things like that as far as, what did we do ourselves that, kind of shot ourselves in the foot that we can fix that necessarily just wasn't, on the other team. So I think as a team, that's the kind of things that you look at, coming in, from, a game like that, coming in the next day, looking at the film, looking yourselves in the mirror. Okay, so what can we do as a team? The things that that weren't affected by them that can put us in a better position, I think, next time to make those plays.
What is it you do like when you're looking at you talking about looking at film on Monday? Like who are you are you watching with the receivers? Are you watching it with the entire offense? What were some of the things that you're looking at like, you know what, we really need to get better in this area of the game?
Yeah, no, it's just a combination of both. You're having talks with, obviously the head coach. He's coming in and giving his thoughts on, what we could have done, and then, obviously each unit, we're breaking down, offensively and defensively. Did we hit our goals for the week? Those type of things. We're given, kind of what was our overall goal for the week. Where did we fall short? Why did we fall short? Those type of things. And from a unit standpoint, you're breaking down into a positional standpoint of, okay, let's look at the, our room exactly. Where did we fall short? What did our game look like? What would we grade ourselves in a room as a unit and as a team, as a unit and individually? Where do we fall short? And what could we have done better in our room to have a better outcome in the game?
What were some of those things? Because I know that there were some highlights. It's everything that's going. I'm thinking about like the dime that Darnell Mooney catches for a touchdown. Fellow rookie Roshan Johnson looked really good. I was
Yeah.
impressed with. I love seeing you out there. There were some good things, but what were some of the things that you want to improve on?
Yeah, no, I think, like I said, I think the biggest thing I feel like that jumped out was just kind of getting ourselves, ahead of the sticks. I think that was kind of the number one thing, at least offensively speaking, was just staying ahead of the chains. That's something that you hear about a lot. And that's something that Justin mentioned as well. Just, you got to stay ahead of the chains. And when you don't do that, it's hard to continue to try to come back from those situations. And I think, we had a couple, offensive line where guys were, kind of going a little earlier, maybe jumping the staff a little bit. But I think also too, that's our mentality is, we kind of want to have that jump. We want to have that get off to where, we can have that get off to where we're one step ahead of the opponent. So I think, there's, I want to say, when I was in Cincinnati, Luke Fickle talked about these type of mistakes. He talked about stupid penalties and he talked about aggressive penalties. And there was a difference, and there was obviously the stupid ones where it was you're pushing somebody out of bounds or just doing stupid things that will cost you the game. Or there was different ones that were things where it was like it had good intent, whether it was maybe sending a message or this being a not say overly aggressive, but just sending type of message or just being which I would think just as far as just getting off the ball. Like I think that's just somebody who's ready to compete, ready to get off the ball, just ready to dominate. So I just think that's just continuing to get reps, understanding the cadence and the snap call and things of that nature. But I think that was kind of the main thing that jumped off the screen to me is just really, really that is what I feel like just shot us in the foot is when we just got behind. It's just hard to continue to climb back. But I feel like there was early on we stayed in it. Honestly, I feel like we stayed in it. It was a very tight game. It was played honestly just like a rivalry. And when you're playing a rivalry game like that, those things happen. When they're gonna have your ups and downs, and I think also too, like I said, it's about a game momentum. You're gonna have those different things in a rivalry game. That's how it's gonna be hard. Like that's kind of what we talked about going into halftime. Like this, it's going to be hard. Like this is what rivalry is about. That's part of the game. That's part of what makes this game great is the fact that you're gonna have your ups and downs, and then that team's gonna have their ups and downs. So I think that's also just part of just the game itself of that back and forth type of deal, and each team just kind of going through their struggles. But I just think just the things that just shot ourselves in the foot were just getting behind the chains, and when we did that, we were just just kind of put ourselves in bad positions, and then also turnovers as well when we turn the ball over, and get ourselves in positions where we put our defense in bad positions as well. That they have to come back from, and you're given a first, well, I wouldn't say first time, but a young starting quarterback, a good field position, and
Yeah.
when when you're playing a game like that, you don't want to give him any type of easy route into the end zone or into the red zone or anything like that. So I think those things as well kind of hurt because I don't think we didn't have any takeaways defensively. So those things kind of jump out as well. I think they had a pick six. I think they're in the game as well. So I think those two things as well. I think those two things kind of really stood out. Just kind of takeaways, which Coach Flus talks about is just, we want to take the ball away. And then also just kind of staying ahead of those chains.
Yeah, there's, a couple of things. And again, it was closer at times than it would have appeared. And then unfortunately, the score ends up the way that it does. But again, and I know that we talked about this before we came on, like it's week one. And I know that,
Yeah.
again, I think the fans, and like for me, it's especially like I'm as guilty of this as anybody, is putting so much onus on a game like this. When honestly, if you look at what the Lions did last year, they started off 2-6 before they got their roll going. This team's real young. Like, say what you will about the Packers. I know Jordan Love was a first-time starter, but he's been with that team for 4 years. That defense has been around forever. We have so many new faces, so many new players. I mean, it's staggering how much turnover there has been with this team over the last couple of years. So mistakes like this can be made. And, again, like I know there's some segments of the population of the Bears fans who don't want to hear this, but at the same time, it is just the reality. And I don't mind pointing this out either. I said this on the NFL Fantasy Live show today is because I was talking about our guy, Justin. I want to ask you about him in a moment, but I was saying this. I go, you know what's funny? The last time the Chicago Bears won the NFC North was 2018. We opened the season with a loss to the Green Bay Packers. So I'm not gonna get, and we were 1-0 last year, and it didn't work out for us. So it's fine. We're gonna let 1 week. We're gonna put it behind us. I do love though, and again, we talked about this last week. Is Justin Fields a lot of times like really feels so I love it. And he came out. I don't love that he had to come out and apologize, but he did. How is Justin doing? Is he okay? What's it been like with him like, is he somebody when these things happen, can you like not look at him, or what is his mood like? What has it been like the last 48 hours, so to speak?
Yeah, no, he's a guy that I think his mentality is always in the right space. I think people kind of see Justin as, that more kind of laid back type of guy, just as far as kind of his demeanor. But I think, his mindset is always in the right space as far as, really being that type of leader. He brought us together. Was it Monday? Yeah, so yesterday, brought us together. We had a walkthrough, brought us together, and just was like, listen, man. One game's not going to define, who we are. And especially, it's the first game of the season. And if you look around the league, this is not what he said, but if you look around the league as well, like you look at all the different quarterbacks and teams, like there was guys that struggled, that it was just a weird week. It's a weird week as far as just kind of that top tier talent. Guys across the league. So, but once again, I feel like that's just part of the game. That's just part of the game. And but back on to Justin, he just mentioned like that's not what defines us. That's not what defines our season. And we just have to continue to come in each week with a mindset of how do we continue to get better. And I know it sounds cliche, and it's just okay, yeah, but it's true. It really is true. You have to continue to find what way can I continue to improve so I can be a better me. So ultimately we can be a better us, so that was pretty much the tone of his message, and the theme of his message is kind of how can I be a better me so we can be a better us. And, at the end of the day, once we find that and continue to work on that, it's all about being together, and, we have to continue to stick together. That's another thing that, him and Getsy, continue to always preach was always, as a team sticking together. No matter what is said outside of these, those four walls, we always have to stick together, no matter what goes on. So I think that's kind of the message, that's kind of the theme of just continuing to move forward, each week, and that it's a long season. It is. I was one game out of 17, and who knows what'll happen. We can go and win the next 16 games in a row, and today or the other day would just be, it happened. And we just have a great season, and we're going to win a Super Bowl, and everyone, go Bears. So, it's just like I said, just continuing to just find each way we can individually continue to get better.
That's what I love to hear. And if I'm not mistaken, Justin had a bad game in college. Was it against you guys? Like there was the year that they did like there was a bad like he had
Yeah.
What?
I want to say I remember watching the game. I don't know. I remember it was a rough first half because I remember like the first half. I want to say Cincinnati was we were in it. I wasn't there obviously at the time, but I remember watching that game and I was like, okay, Cincinnati looks like they're in it.
Yeah,
But I think
right.
they ended up blowing us out by 40 in the second half.
But
So
still.
he ended up, coming back. But yeah, I think that might have been the game.
Yeah, I think that was it. I should have done a better job of researching that, but whatever. We're not here to talk about the past. That Green Bay was the Green Bay game, but right now we were going to start to take a look at Tampa Bay this week. And before I do that,
Sure.
I want to let everybody know that Game Room Chicago, located at the historic Chicago Athletic Association Hotel right across from Millennium Park, features billiards, shuffleboard, skee ball, pop-a-shot, and so much more. And it has plenty of space to watch your favorite game with a menu featuring Michelin-starred chef Mariari Katsumura and their snack foods, beer towers, a weekend Bloody Mary bar, and shareable cocktails. Game Room Chicago is the place to be on game day. So since, of course, you're going to be on the road, you're going to be in Tampa Bay, you want to go someplace, watch the game, it is going to be Game Room Chicago. It's a classy joint. I'm going to let everybody know right now, if you haven't seen pictures, it's a really nice establishment. It feels old school. It feels like a place that George Halas himself would have gone afterwards after a game of beating the Packers, that he would have gone and celebrated. But let's focus now on what's coming up in week 2. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, one of the surprise winners in week 1. You talk about how weird it was. I even tweeted this out because I was like, you know what? I really want to make fun of the Vikings right now, but I'm going to wait 3 hours just in case. But they had a tough go too, and for a team that, last season looked so good winning all these one-score games, they fell to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Have you gotten a chance to see what the Buccaneers did this week? And what are your impressions of the Bucs?
Yeah, no, I haven't got a chance to kind of really look at the game. I did see some of the highlights. I seen the final score, obviously, but haven't got a chance to dive in. I know Baker Mayfield is back there, and I see starting off 1-0. So I think it'll be interesting matchup. I think this game is also important as far as rankings and down the line because they did beat a divisional opponent for us, and then we
Yeah.
obviously lost to a divisional opponent. So it's important down the line. These type of games matter. So who beat who? At the end of the day, is kind of what when they're coming out with these things. That's automatic. Ultimately what they look at: who beat who, and so this is going to be an important game. It should be interesting to see what goes on.
Yeah, you know what? And obviously the Buccaneers a couple of years ago win the Super Bowl. Now they're kind of in a state of flux. As you said, Baker Mayfield is there as the starting quarterback. I think Baker kind of gets a lot of unnecessary grief from people, but he's a capable quarterback. But they do feature two of the best wide receivers in the NFL with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And then, of course, it was the rookie who ended up scoring, Palmer. What was his name? Seth Palmer. But he scored a touchdown. What's it like? What do you do? Like, it's, obviously, football, you love football. What's it like when you're now sitting there and you're looking across the field and you will on Sunday see Mike Evans, Chris Godwin? What is that like?
Yeah, I think I kind of had my share a little bit going against the Bills, seeing Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs,
And Stephon Diggs.
seeing those guys. It's um I think for a minute it's just like for me I kind of look, I'm like, man, that's Stephon Diggs, or man, that's Josh Allen, or you kind of look at these guys, it's kind of just like, wow, guys that you played Madden with, growing up, and it's just like, yeah, they're across the field now, or even on the defensive side, that game we had the Bills, I went against Tre'Davious White.
Mhm.
He lined up across me. I was like, oh, that's Tre'Davious White. I used him in Madden as well. He was a great guy. I would always pick as far as on my team. Then you had Jordan Poyer in the back. I was like, yeah. So just seeing all these different guys, it was like, once again, those aha moments of just like, wow, like I'm really here, doing this thing. Going into this game, you have Mike Evans, who's been doing it for a while, and I think he's had a 1,000-yard season. I think every year he's been in the NFL.
Yeah.
So he's been doing it for a while, and he's been at the top. I think underrated receiver for sure. Not a lot of people talk about Mike Evans, but he's been doing it at a very high level for a very long time, and Chris Godwin as well. So I think just seeing those guys, I think I'll definitely have that moment of like, man, that's Chris Godwin, that's Mike Evans. But at the end of the day, we're here playing a game, and we got to win. So.
Are you to the point now where you can do jersey swaps with people? Have you wanted to go ask? I mean, I know this is only week 2,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like, have you thought about that? Like, is there a jersey guy that you're like, God, I would kind of like to swap jerseys with him?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely thought about it as far as like, man, so who am I gonna swap jerseys with? Now game one, the equipment staff was adamant about, for me at least, they're like, do
Yeah.
not give away your jersey. Head guy Tony said it maybe 50 times to me throughout the week. He was like, Slim, you're not giving away your jersey. Slim, don't give away your jersey. Slim, before the game. I mean, he just kept saying it the whole week.
Why?
I'm
Wait,
like,
why was he signaling you out? Like, are you the guy that they expected? Because like they don't say that to a guy that they don't think is going to do that. Like, because there's some people like, he's not going to do it. But obviously,
no.
what have you done? What have you done that's led this equipment staff to be so paranoid that they think that you were giving away your jersey?
Oh man, I think I might have gave away some gloves during
Oh.
training camp that like they only had like a certain pair, and
Mm-hmm.
at the time, they had like a certain pair of gloves that I loved, and
Yeah.
there was these kids, after I got done catching some jugs, and there was these kids like Tyler Scott, and they didn't even ask for my gloves or anything. The kid just wanted me to come say hi, like he didn't ask for autograph or anything. I went over there,
Here's my
shook hand,
gloves.
and yeah, I gave him a fist bump, and at the time, and I was just like, man, here, you want the gloves here? Just take the gloves. I don't know. It was one of those moments I got weak. I don't know what it was.
You get caught up. You get caught up in the moment. Like
Yeah,
it's
we got
tough.
caught up in the moment and gave them away. And they, the equipment staff was like, "You gave away those gloves. Like those are the only ones we had." And
Oh.
I was like, "I'm sorry." They're like, "Oh, we'll get you right." But so maybe they had, maybe a little concern after that. But I think they said they were going to do something, with it. So they were just kind of real adamant about like, yeah, just make sure you keep your jersey at least for this game. We're going to do something with it, and so they just, like I said, wanted to do that. So kept the jersey. Did a good job there.
There it goes. Good
But if
job.
there
Wow.
is,
Had I known, I would have been concerned about this.
yeah, no, did a great job there. But if there is one person through this whole season I do want to trade jerseys with, it's gotta be my man Trey Tucker.
Okay.
It's gotta be Trey Tucker. Gotta be. It's my brother. We've been through doing this thing since we were little. It's over there in the Raiders. They face us at home this year.
Right.
So
In October,
it's
yeah.
if it's one person this year, I gotta have my guy Trey Tucker's jersey.
All right, that's fine. He's a good player. He's in the NFL. We need it, but we need an A-list player. And I don't know.
A-list?
Not that Trey Tucker isn't, not that he isn't, but that's your guy though. That's expected.
Yeah, no,
like you and your friend.
That means it means something.
I understand, but it's got to be like a Mike Evans type person.
Okay,
But it's
okay,
got to
okay.
and I want it caught on film because I always love the idea of like when it's a rookie going up to somebody like Mike Evans. Like it's always a fun dynamic. Like there was a rookie last year trying to swap with Devontae Adams, and Devontae Adams is looking at him. So what I'm trying to do is put you in an awkward position where he's like, who are you? And I know you from like he's Mike Evans, We're getting that. Like, listen, you're going to make 13 iconic like his is. And even and if he joins the team next year, you can hold out money and be like, no, I'm not selling you this month. I'm not giving you this jersey unless I get a lot of money. So we'll plant the seed there as well. But if not, then we'll start looking at some other guys. Trey Tucker's a good one.
I got
one. Who? What do you have it in mind?
I would love to because I loved watching him in college. Loved his game. Loved watching him in college. The only thing is that he's a divisional opponent.
That's okay.
Justin Jefferson.
That's fine. 100%. Absolutely.
No,
I want you.
Loved him. I love his game.
I endorse. Listen, he's on my fantasy team. There are guys that transcend the divisional rival thing where you're just like, no, like I would never. It's Justin Jefferson. Yeah, okay, yeah, I would do that. Like if Justin Jefferson came up to me and was like, "I'll trade you," I'm like, "Yeah, whatever you want, Justin Jefferson."
Yeah.
I love this idea so much. Okay, so you don't have to ask Mike Evans. I don't want you to burn this early. Justin Jefferson. I want you to get out there and I want to be aggressive. And I want you to be. That's a tough one. No, but Listen, it shows the world that you mean business, because when NFL Films captures you and Justin, because then you're on his level. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it puts you in there like, oh yeah, those are contemporaries right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like when
Yeah.
Brad Pitt hangs out with George Clooney and Matt Damon. Like, that puts them on a, you have no idea who those three people are, but they're very famous actors that I would like.
No, George Clooney.
Okay, see that. That's just a Cincinnati guy. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I said George Clooney. No, I'm but
good one.
I backdoored my way into that one. Like, hey, look at me. I know that we're running out of. I do want to ask you though. Do you watch, like, this is probably a dumb question? Were you watching Monday Night Football this week? Because I just want to ask about Garrett Wilson's catch. Because did you see that?
Oh yeah. I was watching every minute of it.
That was insanity. That was
oh my God. I think I was sitting on the couch and I was sitting here. I was like, okay. I seen the covers. I'm like, okay, they got 101 up top. They're gonna run it. And then once he threw the fade ball, when he released it, I'm like, okay, it looks like it's definitely inside to where, it just looked okay, it's probably gonna be, kind of some type of breakup or possibly even an interception. And when he like tipped it to himself, like when you watch it live, it's like, okay, that's crazy. But when they put the slow motion on and they show it from different angles, and understanding too, like as a receiver, like how hard that is to do while you have someone on you, guarding you, and then you have the concentration to kind of be like, all right, you stay right here for a second while I go ahead and tip this ball back this way. Have the concentration, like, all right, stay right there for a second as well. Let me go ahead and catch it again with my other hand. With my one hand that I just tipped it to myself to, oh yeah, get off me real quick so I can finish the play. Like that type of, that type of awareness, that type of concentration is just next level. And, just even through the whole offseason, I mean, you just heard about, he's made those type of plays of just being that type of, receiver. So that was an amazing catch. I definitely stood up and got off my seat when I seen it.
That was impressive. That was one of the most insane catches I've seen over the last couple of years.
No,
what about
definitely.
you as a professional? Do you kind of just tip your hat, or do you get a little jealous? Do you get a little mad? Because I'll tell you this, like it's somebody who does comedy. Sometimes there's somebody who tells a joke that's so funny that I go from laughing to them being upset because I didn't think of it. Is there some sort of way with the receivers, you're like, oh, that was amazing, and then you're like, I'm kind of mad that wasn't me?
Maybe a little bit of both, yeah. I think for sure when you see it, I know like watching it, it's like, wow. It's like, wow, that was, that was an amazing catch. And then I think too, you have in the back of your mind, like, okay, I need to do that. Like, why did I not do, like, okay, I need to do something like that to just kind of, so it's, but I don't think it's like in a malice way. It's just like,
no.
okay,
Yeah,
I need to do that. Like, I need to do something like that for sure. But yeah, no, I think at the end of the day, I think for sure it's more of just a tip your hat of like, I think that's what just makes, once again, I think that's just what makes this game great, is that we have so many different types of receivers, and all across positions, but we have so many different types of players with so many different types of skill sets, that make the game great. And I think that's just part of what makes this game so fun to watch and so fun to play. Is that plays like that can be made, and we can have plays like that just puts us on the edge of our seat, and that just has us in like, wow, like I've never seen anything like that before. Which is why I just think each week, in and out, like even the fan in me, like I love watching the game of football. So I think that's definitely more of just a hat tip to him of, wow, what a great play.
Yeah, no actual malice. I didn't mean it like that, but we're just kind of like, yeah,
no, for sure.
But as competitors, you're kind of like,
for sure.
You're like, that's awesome.
Like, yeah, no, for sure. It's great, but could have been me.
Yeah. All right. Well, it will be you. Listen, we got an opportunity this week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even though they are 1-0. I am now back. You've brought me back. I told you before you came on, I said, this is going to be very cathartic, especially for me. I feel great. I am ready to go.
And you should. You should.
It's 1 week. Like, listen, we're a young team. We're working some things out. It's not a finished product. Don't walk up while the house is being built and be like, where's the door? Like, hold on, we'll get there. So you made me feel better, and I thank you for that.
No, for sure. For sure.
All right. Well, we are wrapping up right there. Don't go anywhere. I didn't like that we kicked you off last year when we threw to Sammy to end it. You and I end this thing together. So I want to thank everybody for joining us here today. Big appreciation to Tyler for doing this. This is a lot of fun. This is great. It's educational and it's fun to get here and spend some time with you. And we're going to get that Justin Jefferson jersey this season. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Now that we have something to look forward to.
Get the pressure on me.
All right, listen, that's what I'm doing. So everybody join us Wednesday for Take It to the Rank. Carmen Vitale will be back. We'll be talking a little bit about the Packers and, of course, Tampa Bay. She's got ties to both teams. And then Friday we'll do Ranks Rivals. But want to thank Tyler one more time. Bear down. And Sammy, why don't you go ahead and play us out?
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Adam Rank on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.